Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight I've got a really fun match in the Shimakaze. I know it's not the most popular ship to be in for you guys, but this match has a very good teaching point, and that is a lesson in not trying to win harder for both teams. And we've talked about this in the past, but so many games are won and lost by good destroyer play, and I'm going to try to showcase a little bit of that today. Now, before the match gets started, remember we are on the path to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So, if you have not yet done so, punch that subscribe button, share the video, and let your folks know, your friends, your family, let them all know that this is the place to come hang out, because honestly, I really enjoy what I do for a living, and you guys have made that possible. I literally could not do this without you guys. So thank you guys so much for everything, and let's see if we can't make that happen by the end of the year. We're on track, believe it or not, to actually pull this off. So be a part of something great. Now, right off the bat, you're probably noticing that there are a couple of battleships here, and obviously I'm sizing them up for a torpedo strike. Notice where my direction finder is pointing. You see that little white hemisphere at the top of the reticle there? You see how it's pointed off to my left, straight off the bow of the ship? That should tell you a lot of things. I run twist and track / perceptive. I run perceptive on all my destroyers now because I like to be able to know where the closest person is. You see that I'm paying attention. I launch my torpedoes at the battleships, give them, spread the love out, show a little bit here and there, try to get their attention, but I am immediately ready to engage whatever this is out here, which I'm assuming is a destroyer. There are 3 destroyers on the enemy team. Remember, I also run a double concealment build. This usually allows me to get the drop on any enemy destroyer that I decide to come up against. With exception, for the moment, to the French Kleber. Oh, look, it's another Shima, who has a very good concealment. And we are already ready with our guns ready to smash this man. He gets a shot off at us. Actually, he's going to get some decent hits here because we're actually continuously spotted, but he gets behind the smoke screen. We managed to get another shot on him. Didn't do a lot of damage in the opening salvos there. It's really unfortunate. Generally, I get anywhere from 15 to 3,200 damage with a Shima salvo, especially against another Shima. But we didn't get the hits that we were hoping for. We only hit 2 shells, so not ideal, but obviously we've made him turn around. That's huge. I have a cruiser behind me as well for the moment. He's not going to last much longer, but I have a cruiser behind me. You can see that the twist or the perceptive, the RDF, the radio direction finder, is pointing in the direction away from us again. So this means to me that that destroyer is likely just running away. So now I can wrap around this flank and start to harass these battleships. Now you'll notice my team has already lost 3 ships. We are less than 3 minutes. We're coming up on the 3-minute mark. We've lost 3 ships, including one of our destroyers, a cruiser, and a battleship. That is not ideal. This game has all of the markers for what is an absolute disheartening defeat. However, as the Shima, you dictate every single engagement that you get to be a part of. You get to decide who lives, who dies. You get to decide where they're allowed to go, where they're not allowed to go. Now, one thing that I'm going to do differently than I normally do here is I'm going to start spreading these torpedoes out. I'm not going to be loading them all at one time and launching them all at one time. I'm going to start spreading the love out. I've talked about this multiple times. The other thing I need to start doing is starting to get a little bit closer to these guys. Now, we know that this Yami is wanting to push forward. Now, I'm also throwing these in there behind the Yami just in case that he sees torpedoes and stops or something crazy. So we throw those a little behind. We have a delay. Yami is definitely not going to eat those torpedoes, unfortunately. But the Alaska that's following him gets the unfortunate side effect of running into torpedoes that were not meant for him. And while they initially miss these torpedoes, the Alaska takes one at the very edge. He's on damage control cooldown, and he loses all of his hit points, and our Yami manages to hit him and finish him off. Now, That is huge. Why? Because that's a radar gone. Their first ship that they lost was a radar cruiser. Now, because of the fact that we spread these torpedoes out, we're only 30 seconds away from getting some more torpedoes. I thought about going in front of this island here. You can see he's going to be going between two more islands, which means he can't really dodge. The only way he can dodge is to speed up or slow down. Well, he's already going probably full throttle, so the only way he can get away from these is to slow down. So here, I'm anticipating him running into a bunch of our teammates starting to shoot at him because he's starting to get into a central position on the map, so more people are going to be shooting at him. You can see that the marker is telling me he's slowing down, he's turning left. We're going to launch on that marker for the first set, then we're going to launch behind with the second set. Now, we've got 20 seconds before we get another set. And now we are going to get into the cap to start contesting, obviously. I know we already have some people in the outer ring, but we are also going to turn back to go behind this Yami and go behind the other Yami, and I believe it's Marlborough over there on the far side. So we are going to push over towards those guys. This guy should eat some torpedoes here. He's thinking about stopping. He thinks that he's safe for the most part. You can see I'm measuring these two guys up, looking at who is the most likely to not realize that I'm here. And both of these guys are in a pretty significant position where I could potentially get away with a good torp strike here. But I go ahead and I focus the Yamato here with this set of torpedoes. I'm trying to figure out what he's doing. Then I'm like, okay, Marlborough's low health. But Marlborough and Yami are basically in a position where I can launch at the Marlborough and potentially hit the Yami if he decides to, you know, slow down or whatever. But I figure Marlborough is charging in. He's just lost a good chunk of his hit points. He's the most likely person who's not expecting to be torpedoed, right? Now, unfortunately, all of his health has disappeared. You don't know if he's running will to rebuild or not. But rather than sit here and do nothing as a Shima, I opened fire. I know, it's a crazy thought. This is the second time in this game that a Shimakaze has opened fire on a ship. And this is a battleship. But he's low health. There's a good chance that he's not running will to rebuild. And if we can manage to get a fire on his superstructure, or at least damage, we should be able to kill him. And we take him down. We also land a couple of torps on the Yami, which means he's on damage control cooldown. So we are going to go ahead and try to get some fires on him. Notice I've already triggered my smoke screen. These guys can't turn their guns fast enough to get to me before I disappear. He's got a perma-fire burning on the back of his ship, so we're aiming for superstructure. We want to get those shots. Notice the guy that we torped earlier, and there's the perma-fire, so now that Yami's on a double perma. This guy's got a perma-fire going, and so we're going to reach out and touch him. He wants to take a shot at us, thinking he's smart. We're going to go ahead and take a shot at him and try to finish him off. Now, he just damage con. We do manage to get the kill on the guy that was in front of us, and so we're going to try to take down yet another ship with the guns, this time a Yamato. We don't want these guys hanging around, right? This is the last battleship. There's a permafire. We know he just used his damage con, so that's going to be him going down. And unfortunately, somebody yoinks our kill, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, he is dead. We've done 109,000 damage. We've got 42 targets hit. We've got 5 hits with the torpedoes. Now, we're not done here, folks. We're going to move up, we're going to grab it, go into the center cap, start denying points. Right now, the teams are tied on points. So we need to get in here, deny the enemy points. There are 3 destroyers left on the enemy team. There are plenty of people for those people to hunt. As you can see, Daring is far left side. We know that there's a destroyer in the center cap. How do we know this? Well, we're contested. And our guy's in the center cap, and it's not going up. So there's somebody here. So I'm using my perceptive to try to zone torpedo here. So I'm area denying. I think he's behind the island here, so I torp off to the right of the island, torp off to the left of the island. There's a destroyer rushing that spot that I think he's in, so if he pops out, we've got torpedoes on the way, right? That's the thought process behind those torpedoes. We're also trying to set up a crossfire with that other destroyer. This Shima gets spotted right as he's leaving the center cap, and suddenly we are capturing the base. We have the points lead. They managed to take out one of the enemy destroyers. And so we are going to start opening fire on this Shima. We have the shots, and we put some accurate fire downrange this time. This is the guy that we ran into at the beginning of the match, and we actually land 3 shells at maximum range on this guy, and we're going to continue to punch him with some more shells. And between us and the other destroyer and the cruiser, he goes down pretty quickly. This is a perfect scenario of why good destroyer play can win and lose games so easily. These guys for their team have been so concerned with doing damage and trying to like sneak around the map. They have not been in good positions. They just haven't. Sure, they captured bases early on, but they allowed their battleships to be completely and utterly farmed, by me mostly, but by other destroyers too. We managed to take down their heavy hitters, and that allows our battleships to focus on some of the other ships, though actually it was mostly heavy hitters. But their enemy destroyers weren't doing their jobs. They're not trying to spot for their team. They're solely going around trying to torpedo battleships, and at the end of the day, that's going to lose you games. That destroyer that was on my side should have stuck around, supported his battleships that were there, and engaged me with the help of his teammates. Because he runs away, we end up absolutely annihilating 2 Yamatos, a Marlborough, and what was it? It was a Marlborough and 2 Yamis for sure that we ended up finishing off. The Marlborough obviously died to somebody else, but we got the 2 Yamatos. So it's one of those situations where as a destroyer player, you've got to play for the team. Stop being so freaking selfish. All right? I wasn't playing for damage here. I'm solely trying to get the flank, get around behind the enemy where they're set up, they're trying to get comfortable, they're trying to sit here, and they're trying to get crossfires. They're bowing to my battleships, and I'm in a good position to cross-torp them. Crossfires, cross-torps, they're all real things, guys. You got to try to work for those if you can. And spot enemy destroyers when you can. Their destroyer ran away, so I couldn't spot him anymore, so I took what was available, and because he wasn't spotting me, I was able to run rampant. And then we put ourselves in a good position with Perceptive, once again, to intercept another destroyer who kills our rune, which is sad in and of its own right, but for whatever reason, he manages to kill our cruiser, and we are in position to intercept this guy, and the other destroyer on my team is right here with us. So we're going to be able to punish this guy and take him down. No chance that this guy gets to run away today. Now, obviously, he launches torpedoes. He almost catches me off guard here, but as soon as we see the torps, we slow down, turn in, and we're able to dodge those torpedoes very easily. And with this last salvo, we managed to take him down as well, getting our 3rd kill, doing over 120,000 damage, and managing to get the caps and give us the guaranteed win. 3,155 base XP, but we're not the only one. The rune that managed to get himself death struck also had 3,000 base XP. 2 people on one team with 3,000 base XP is crazy good. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I know this isn't the normal video that you guys like to see, but these teaching videos are very helpful to newer players. So, if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.